When we talk to federal agencies today, they're really excited about the promise of cloud computing. Things like being able to lower the total cost of ownership for simple types of solutions that are providing collaboration capabilities for their information workers, for example. So from the email workload to simple collaboration tools, chat, voice connectivity over the internet. And there's several things that we tell them to look at when they start to investigate whether a cloud solution fits one of these workloads or any workload that they might be looking to move to the cloud. Usually the forefront is security and privacy. And when you start to talk about security and privacy, you really have to look at the type of data that that workload is housing. Does that data, for example, does that workload, is that email, does that email contain personally identifiable information, PII data? Is that data sensitive? Is it secret? Is it classified? The second thing that we tell agencies to look at really is to really evaluate the return on investment that they're going to get from that cloud solution. And it's not as straightforward as most people would think it is. When you look at cloud, really the whole promise of it is to be able to deliver a lower cost solution at the end of the day because of the economies of scale that it offers. But those economies of scale may or may not actually end up offering an agency a lower return on investment. There's a lot of different factors that play into this. For example, there could be business concerns or business justifications. For example, maybe an agency's already purchased from a capital expenditure perspective, the hardware, right, and some of the software already required to house this particular workload on premise. It might make sense to go to the cloud today because there is a solution available. However, when you start to do the ROI analysis, you start to realize that ROI quickly becomes smaller and smaller because you've already made that capital expenditure, and perhaps now you might need to wait, really, from a business justification perspective for another 3 years. And when they start to do that analysis, it can become challenging for them, especially when they start to determine, if you look at just, for example, email. Email today may run in a data center on several racks of servers. That data center may or may not be a line item on the budget of the CIO. That might be the line item, from an accounting perspective on somebody else's budget. And when we start to look at these things, it can become very, very difficult for an agency to actually compare apples to apples from how much does it cost for me per, for example, per a user's mailbox, end user's mailbox, and compare that to the price of a mailbox that would be hosted in the cloud. And so we really encourage our federal customers to do that analysis up front. We really encourage agencies to work with those cloud vendors to do their due diligence, right? To look at not only the return on investment and the cost of a particular cloud service, but to also ask the hard questions about security and privacy. Right, how a particular cloud vendor is securing not only the data center, but what processes they have in place, right, in case of a data breach. How are they doing things like continuous monitoring, and are they willing to share that information with you?